And this broadcast brought to you by 106th Street Tire and Wheel. Get your automotive stuff done at 106th Street Tire and Wheel, located on 10601 Northern Boulevard, Corona, New York, 11368. It is once again our mini-series here, brought to you by Sports Talk with Boog and Lou, featuring Steele today. Steele is taking a nap. He's I think, are you there? You're right there? You good? You ready to go?
That guy's enjoying outside right now.
Yo, I'm on outside. I'm enjoying the scenery, man. Let's go.
All right, no, that's fair. How's your guys' week been so far? How about the Yankees, though, guys? Can we? Hey, is it yo, Steele, real quick? What looks different about Boog today?
Well, I was looking at his background. It's the same blue, but it's the hat, maybe. It's the New York Giants he's sporting today.
Right. Why is he wearing a New York Giants hat?
Because I'm here to support Eli.
No, sir.
We're not
We are not going to allow Lou. We are not going to allow him to do that today. Oh no, sir.
That's what I'm going to do.
No, but I mean, the Mets don't look good right now. Where's Viviani? Where's Viviani talking all that crap? He posted on August 12th that they're only a half a game back. Now they're 5.5 games back.
Man, you guys are on drugs, man. I keep trying to tell y'all that we got to face them, and they got to face the Dodgers and the Giants. They still haven't done it yet. So right. I don't know what you guys are getting all worked up for. Just be happy your Yankees are playing good and leave my Mets alone. Because trust and believe, us quiet Met fans, we're watching you Yankee fans that are harassing us, and we definitely are taking notes, writing it down, and we will react accordingly.
First of all, we wasn't clowning them. I was actually riding for the Mets.
Listen. We ain't just talking about you there still. But there is somebody else that's on this stream.
But there's a lot of Yankee haters when the Mets was doing their thing. Was
Hi, Lonnie. Yankees. Hi, Vincent.
Understatement.
Understatement. Here, so, Lou's here.
Lou's here, so that's why they're here, of course. Yeah. All right, guys. Let's get right into it. I'm currently sharing the stream to other platforms so that way people can see. What is our first topic of discussion for today, guys?
Let's.
We'll start with Eli, man. Start with Eli first, man. The other one is juicy. We got to end with that one, man. Come on.
All right. Fair enough. Is Eli Manning a Hall of Famer? Now, I'm going to tell you guys the exact same thing I told you guys off the stream. You can't convince me otherwise that Eli Manning is not a Hall of Famer. Okay? So, cheers on that.
Hold on. Drink of choice today.
Drink of choice is your Tennessee whiskey. I'm still going with my Captain Morgan.
Okay? And nothing goes better with a cigar than a little cognac.
Right. What kind of cognac is that, though?
Oh, this is just Hennessy VSOP.
Oh, fancy. All right, so real quick, Boogie obviously agrees that Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer. Is that correct, Boog?
Of course, precisely.
What about you? Obviously, you two, Steele.
Oh, we got some no's there. We got some no's here.
No, wow.
We got some no's here.
Of course, Joe Algier. Yeah, what?
Lonnie said, what is that? Yeah, because he's repeating Lou.
I hate to say it, but I have to agree with Joe. He is not a Hall of he's not a Hall of Famer.
Why? Okay, let's hear your reasoning why Eli Manning is not.
Let's hear this
nonsense. I'm not gonna talk stats or nothing like that. All right. I think Eli is very overrated as a quarterback. All right, and it's because of he's just always in the right place at the right time. If you take away them 2 Super Bowls, just take one. It's not.
Okay. Before he goes any further.
Right. Because,
how are you taking away Super Bowls? Who does that?
Point. Can I get to my point? All right.
How's the point even relevant after that?
Because they got to the Super Bowl on fluke. They wasn't supposed to be. There was a mediocre team. There was an okay team. They were okay. They wasn't shaking the block. They were okay. And they limped into the Super Bowl. They limped. They limped into the
Apparently,
Super Bowl.
We were watching completely 2 different playoff games.
And watching those 2 Super Bowls, the Giants' defense, I've said this over and over and over again, who won those chips. The Giants' defense was awesome. Both Super Bowls. They came together at the right time. Eli, just Mark Sanchez, the thing. He managed. No, Steele. No. Chad is not us. Come on.
Listen.
He managed
I'm going to read some stats for you about Eli Manning. In 2007, no, because his defense apparently carried him to the Super Bowl. In 2007, he went 4-0 with a six touchdown, 1 interception ratio. And listen, was the catch with Amani Toomer a little bit lucky? Sure. But he had to get in there.
It was all luck. And you know what? That catch had nothing to do with Eli. It was a terrible pass. He went up and got the ball.
Did we not remember that he got out of that 3-person sack to throw that?
Do you realize that Amani
Lou,
Toomer wasn't the person who caught that?
What? They had him by the jersey.
It was.
They had him by the jersey.
He chucked the ball up in the air.
Oh, y'all talking about?
What are you
Amani Toomer didn't catch that pass.
Oh no, it was. You're right. It was.
I didn't say Amani Toomer.
But that's what I'm trying to say. He said that pass by catch that by Amani Toomer was lucky. I'm like, what are you talking about? that wasn't Amani Toomer.
No, it wasn't Mario. It was
David Tyree. Bro.
David Tyree. Right. Fuck. Sorry. Yeah. Right.
All right.
Right.
Now turn him off.
Okay,
now.
yeah, because I want to have an actual conversation about the Giants, because when we start randomly just bringing up any wide receiver to defend Eli, then nobody's even going to listen to him. You understand what I'm saying?
All right. Yes. Okay. But anyway, get back to the facts. All right. The fact of the matter is, putting the Super Bowls back into play, he did win. They got the chips legitimately. So I'm not taking that away. All I'm saying is, he is a regular quarterback. He's not great and he's not bad. He's just regular. Go ahead, Book.
9-1 in 2011.
9-1
in 2011, by the way, touchdown to interception ratio too.
First of all, okay, this is what you guys are doing. He is a quarterback in an era of Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Brett Favre. You know, like all-time great quarterbacks were playing in his era. Yes. Was he them? No, he was not. But how can he be punished because he played with other great quarterbacks? See, that's what you guys are doing. You guys are basically saying, oh, Eli was regular. He was trash because he didn't have Drew Brees numbers. Drew Brees was in an offense where it was all throwing. So you want to compare the same stats with a guy who had a running game and defense. So it's Eli's fault that's the way his offense is set up. Ben Roethlisberger, his numbers is comparable to Eli's, but yet he's just as great as Eli, right? Oh, he's way greater than Eli, right? Wow.
And he raped somebody.
His defense was amazing too. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this is what I'm trying to say. Like, the arguments that you guys are doing, and then there's other people who like Eli too, but they're on the whole other end of the spectrum. Oh, his numbers are the same of the past Hall of Fame quarterbacks, blah, 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 blah. At the same argument that I'm making about the era he was in, those people before him weren't in a situation where they can throw the ball as much. So Eli was in a better situation offensively than those guys were, which is why his stats is comparable to them. But at the end of the day, you cannot take away 2 Super Bowls away from somebody. That's just impossible. You can't take away 2 Super Bowls. Do you know how many? There's a small amount of quarterbacks who have multiple Super Bowls. You know that?
You're right.
And he's in that list. That's number one. Number two, he is the MVP of the Super Bowl twice.
He should have been the MVP the first time. He did not deserve
how? They win without him? They win without him?
Take me off the screen. I don't even want to talk to y'all. Take me off the screen.
I will.
Yeah, no, not at all. They don't win that game without Eli Manning. You crazy?
Joe Algieri.
And the last thing I checked is it.
Sorry, Lou. I'm just mad.
All right. So why are we? I'm
sorry. I'm just removing everybody. I'm just mad right now.
Last time I checked too, Eli Manning is in the top 10 of passing yards. Right? Is he not?
That's what I'm saying. All time in the NFL. But
last time I checked, wait, hold on one second. He also played 16 consecutive years without getting hurt.
Yeah, you can't get hurt when you don't matter. You're irrelevant.
What the fuck are you talking about?
What are you
he played every game.
Yo, listen.
What
I'm
other
not saying-
quarterbacks do
I'm not-
that? Drew
listen,
Brees
I'm
was
not-
out 4 times in the last 4 years in his last 4 years of his playing career.
It's
Listen,
people
I'm
like
not taking
Joe.
away-
It's people like Joe, right? It's people like Joe who are stat oriented and that's it, right? Because he says that he only had 2 good seasons, right? Now, how many quarterbacks can you base solely on record? Like, it's not fair. You know what I'm saying? Football's a team game. Like, that's something you can't do. You can't
So
say
hold on. I agree with you 100%. Football is a team game.
team game.
All right, stay with that same energy.
Yes.
You're telling me
Yes.
that first Super Bowl,
Yes.
when the Giants defense was flying all over that field,
They were.
that Eli deserved that MVP trophy?
Think about this. What was the score?
17-14.
So what does that mean?
Their defense was
That
flying.
means both defenses were playing great.
No. Both defense did play good.
Both
but the
defenses were
Giants
playing great.
def-
So
the
guess
Giants
what?
defense-
So that means Eli had to outplay the greatest quarterback in NFL history 2 times.
No. The defense.
How
put
many
Eli-
rings
hold
would
on.
Tom
The
Brady have if it
defense-
wasn't for Eli?
The defense
9.
put Eli.
Now, tell
in the
me if
position
Tom
to
Brady
succeed.
feels the way you feel right now. Tom Brady feels that the Giants defense beat him? No,
Tom
he's
Brady-
mad at Eli Manning.
No, they
You
folded
can't
up
take
like
2
lawn
Super
chairs.
Bowl MVPs away from somebody, bro.
Listen,
You can't say it's the defense solely.
no, they couldn't.
You
They
can't.
couldn't give it to the defense, so
The
they
defense
gave
didn't
it to
score
Eli.
the defense didn't score any points.
But they put him in a position
Eli
to
did.
succeed.
They put him in the position to get out of a sack and to throw an amazing pass in the middle of a field for a first down. And they
Yo, you
put him
lucky-
in the
you lucky.
position.
Where's my-
They
where's
put
my
him in a
turn-off
position. They put him
Lou,
in the
I need a
position
turn-off
to
point.
call a fade to Plexico Burris for a game-winning touchdown. The defense
Mr.
did that.
Mr. Shoot
The
myself in the leg.
defense
Yeah, whatever.
got him to have a magical pass to Mario Manningham on the sidelines to save the season. Defense did that. The defense managed the offense for Eli as
Absolutely.
he continued to score and hold the clock for the win.
Listen,
Defense did that.
the defense put him in positions to succeed. That is what I'm saying. I'm not saying the defense threw the ball. I'm not saying that the defense threw touchdowns I'm not saying that. But the defense controlled the game in order for Eli to succeed.
Joe, I would have you come on the show to do it, but if you come on here, we're not going to have our half-hour show. We will talk about this for an hour. We would talk about, and we still have another topic to talk about.
Hold on, Lou. Joe's on punishment. Let him continue to put comments in the comment section.
But he's actually agreeing with you.
But
he's
here's
still on
the
punishment.
thing too.
He's still on
Joe is also a little biased because his favorite quarterback of all time is Eli's brother, and people compare Eli to Peyton, and that he hates that.
Okay,
he hates that.
First off, there is no comparison. Peyton is way better than Eli.
Oh, I know that,
So
but
that's
people
number one.
do it. But
Let's
people
just
do
put
it.
that out there. There is
I
no
know Peyton's
comparison.
better. Peyton's
Now,
100% a better quarterback than Eli.
If you want to make comparisons, right, you can compare to the other people that are considered Hall of Famers in his class, like I said previously, like Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers, and guys like that. Like those guys, yeah, Matt Ryan. Like those are the guys that are Hall of Famers that weren't in the Breeze, Brady, Favre category. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not mentioning Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers was like a little like in the middle of their career, so I'm not really considering him in that class. I mean, like in that time frame. But obviously, he's great also in the Hall of Famer. But what I'm trying to say is, this happened to be an era where there was like probably the best quarterbacks in NFL history playing at the same time, and these guys and Eli still found a way to win 2 Super Bowls. And the crazy part about it is everybody wants to say the defense won the Super Bowls. It's insane.
Listen, one thing I'm not going to do is hate on Eli Manning because he deserved everything he got, all right? But my opinion is that defense set the tone. And I think the defense was overshadowed by a few plays that Eli happened to make with quotes.
Eli didn't make a few plays. He made a lot of plays, bro. He calls a lot of those plays in the huddle, right there, on the line. Like, that's not all Tom Coughlin, the offensive coordinator, making those plays. They gave Eli Manning the reins to call a lot of these plays. And to answer you, Joe, about the led the league in interceptions and stuff, if you actually watched Giants games, there was a lot of passes that he threw were right in the hands of receivers that bounced right out of their hands and were caught by the defenders. So if you want, like I said, you're a numbers guy. You're not a guy that actually watched the games, because if you're going to rely on just interceptions alone, which, if you look at his numbers, his touchdown to interception ratio is not as bad as you want to perceive it to be. Yet, you want to call him trash. The guy has 2 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 wins against the greatest team that played in our era.
Listen,
that's all I got to say.
And listen, let's not forget.
I'm sorry, Lou.
Go ahead. Sorry. I was just going to say, remember, Brett Favre is a Hall of Fame quarterback, and he has almost 350 interceptions. And that guy led the league in interceptions sometimes. So does that mean Brett Favre doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame because he got picked off 350 times? Come on.
I think I have to piggyback off Boogie saying I think that Eli was in a generation of quarterbacks that were great. Great. I'm not going to disrespect Eli and say he's a scrub. He is not a scrub. I'm not on that level. I'm saying that the defense did a lot, and me personally, I don't feel the defense got the respect.
They do. They do.
I'm talking about from people. Because
how? Look at the people that was on his defense that everybody loves. They love Strahan. They love JPP. They love O.C. Urmanura. Like, they love those guys.
When these conversations come up, all they talk about is Eli.
Because Eli was the MVP, bro.
But the defense is what set the tone. That's all I'm trying to say.
This is the same argument that Pittsburgh Steelers fans had with their defense was so great, and they think Terry Bradshaw was trash. Terry Bradshaw is not a Hall of Famer. This is the same argument that they had to go through, and this is the same argument that Giants fans got to go through, because the Steelers defense was incredible, but Terry Bradshaw was the quarterback and he scored. He was the manager of the offense. Like, you can't take that away from that guy, bro.
And
he's a Hall of Famer. This is what I'm trying to say.
I would never take away.
You're gonna kill the quarterback because they got good defenses? Come on.
I'm not killing him though.
You call him not a Hall of Famer when he deserves it.
I think he's a 50%. I agree with Joe. He's a halfway there quarterback. He's not gonna blow the roof off, but he's not gonna
28 points against the top team dynasty in the era. So, like, continue with the statement, bro. He scored 28 points in 2 Super Bowls against the best team in the era that nobody else could defeat. Nobody else could defeat him.
Tom Brady scored 1 touchdown, 13 points against the Rams a few years ago. Are we going to give him crap for that? No, he won the Super Bowl.
Twice.
Right, like he won, right?
Listen, I can't co-sign with Joe on this one. He's out his mind. But yeah, listen. End of the day, is he going to go into the Hall? Yes.
Yeah, he's going to the Hall.
All right, he's going in the Hall. Could I argue the defensive point? Yes. Am I going to lose a lot of those arguments? Probably so. But it's just my opinion.
But my thing is, you can't. Every single person that goes against Eli, the first thing they say is, "Oh, take away the Super Bowls." Like, how? You can't do that. Like, you can't. You can't take away. That's just like saying, Michael Jordan was great because he had 6 rings. So if you take his 6 rings away, like, no, you can't take his 6 rings away.
You
know what I'm saying? Like,
but I have that same argument when it comes to Robert Horry. Robert Horry has rings, but he's
7.
He's not. You take away Robert Horry's rings, he's nothing.
Are you comparing Eli Manning's participation to Robert Horry's participation?
But I'm talking about.
I just need to know.
No, I'm not. Well,
okay,
I'm just talking about
because I was about to question what was in that cigar.
No. What I'm trying to say is how people focus on chips a lot, and they try to push other things aside when they focus on the chip. The
chips ain't everything.
Not everything.
Chips is not everything.
No,
but you can't take them away.
We can't. But it's not everything.
It's not everything, but you can't take them away.
Then we agree. Okay, I'm not. I have no point then because we agree.
Speaking of no chips.
Well, Phil Jackson's got chips.
Yeah, but not as an executive for the Knicks.
Neither does Isaiah Thomas.
So, who was the worst New York Knicks GM?
Oh,
right, we'll start off with Mr. Steele. Who is the worst New York GM?
By
Phil
far.
Jackson or Isaiah Thomas?
By far, without question, Phil Jackson. He
Why?
Why? Where you want me to start? You know what? I'm gonna start with the fans' choice. Frank Ntilikina. We're gonna sort of start right there. All right. I was
Number 8 pick, by the way.
a number 8 pick
To run the triangle.
A number 8 pick
To run the triangle in 2017.
that couldn't even get in the game in the Olympics with his own country. He was on the bench with his own country. This guy is hot in the middle of July, dumpster on fire, raccoons running away, garbage. He is the one. Yo, that is the point of Phil's whole reign in New York. Frank Ntilikina. There's nothing else to say. Nothing. Wait, I can go back a little further, but just Frank.
Frank wasn't even the worst thing he's ever done. That's the craziest part.
I'm talking about for people to understand right now, because it gets worse.
The only saving grace this man had was KP.
And I don't even think he should get credit for that.
I'm just saying that was his only saving grace.
But here's the thing: we drafted KP, wound up trading KP, and what do we get in return for KP? We got draft picks, right? And out of those draft picks, we got who? Emmanuel Quickly was one, right? Who was the other one? There was somebody else. I know Emmanuel Quickly was one of them. So
was it who was the rookie with him? That was last year, no?
Last year, right? So Emmanuel Quickly and not Obi Toppin. But regardless,
was it Obi Toppin a rookie with him? Yeah,
Obi Toppin.
But we didn't get him because of that trade, though.
No,
that's what I'm trying to say. Like that wasn't from Phil,
right? But we got Quickly because of that, right? So at least we got something good out of the whole KP thing. And to be fair,
like I said, KP is the only good.
KP was supposed to be really good, right? And then he got some health issues. He didn't want to play in New York. All right, no problem.
Wait. Before you go any further, he refused to meet with the guy that drafted him.
Right.
And who was that guy?
That exit interview was pretty dicey.
You know what I mean? The guy drafted you, and you don't want to talk to him.
So
well, it's clear that Lou thinks that Isaiah Thomas was the worst.
Not by much. They were both obviously bad, but I think Isaiah Thomas was worse, and this is why I think Isaiah Thomas was worse. When he took over GM in 2003, the Knicks actually made the playoffs. Okay, they made the playoffs. All right, that sounds great. The Knicks were 39-43 and had the highest budget in the entire league at 39-43 of $126 million. Okay,
that was one of his bad things that he did.
Right, they wound up not making the playoffs the rest of the time that he was a Knicks GM. Okay, then this guy gave $30 million to who? Jerome James. $30 million off of one playoff start. He gave $30 million to Jerome James. Jerome James wound up exiting the league 3 years later and getting traded after that year he got signed for the $30 million.
Don't forget Jared Jeffries.
Jared Jeffries, too. Another $30 million person. Right. And then on top of it, he goes, oh, I'm doing such a great job at GM. You know what? I'm going to be head coach because I'm doing such a good job at GM.
Well, the actuality with that was he fired 5 coaches in 5 years. So and then he said, you know what, let me do it myself. That's kind of what was the vibe around that time.
Hey, Boog, can I counteract Lou for a second?
Yeah.
He gave Jerome James how much?
$30 million.
$30 million.
Oh, but Phil gave Joakim Noah 72 with a broke shoulder.
Right. No, that's bad.
What are we talking about?
That's
wait. Phil gave him $72 million and he didn't play. But what? How many games did he play for the Knicks?
He was on the bench more than
and then he got suspended.
Right.
For like steroid use or something?
But to be fair, we're also talking about a time where people are getting super max contracts now.
But the guy was washed.
I know, but they weren't doing this in 2003, 2004.
But we're talking.
How about let's talk about when he first got to the Knicks in 2014. He signed Shannon Brown, Lamar Odom, Jason Smith, Ricky Lato, and drafted Langston Galloway, right? Langston Galloway is the best person on that list because everybody else he waived, except Jason Smith played 1 year. So how bad is that? Shannon Brown, who was a castaway from the Lakers, no, he left the league right after the Knicks. Lamar Odom was doing drugs and chilling with the Kardashians when he decided to give him a contract. And this is how you start your career. Then you traded Tyson Chandler and Raymond Felton for Jose Calderon, Sam Dallenberg, and Wayne Ellington. Like, what are you doing? Like, what kind of players are you doing? This is how he stripped the whole roster to put bums on the roster for his triangle offense, and then didn't like it, stripped it again, and then put more bums. At least Isaiah Thomas put talent on the floor. You know what I'm saying? It might not have gelled. Like, when he traded for Marbury, you can't tell me Marbury was a bad trade. He got Marbury. Who was in that Marbury trade? It was Marbury and somebody else we got with him. Penny Hardaway. We got
Penny Hardaway.
So like I said, Isaiah Thomas. I'm not trying to say Isaiah Thomas was great because Isaiah Thomas definitely made bad moves. Isaiah Thomas killed us with the salary. And also too, he also killed us with trading our draft picks away, as like what he did.
I was gonna say that he gave away the first 2-round picks for Eddie Curry, who only played 10 games for us the entire time because he was hurt and overweight. We paid him $19 million to play 10 games.
Well, listen.
Eddie Curry. Eddie Curry played.
His last 2 seasons.
His last two seasons.
Yeah.
Listen,
he paid him $19 million.
He even was an all-star. Like, let's say, but the thing is like we gave 2 draft picks who ended up being LaMarcus Aldridge and Joakim Noah, actually. Like, those are the draft picks we gave away. He gave away a lot of draft picks. That's one thing he did bad.
Listen,
overpaid. He used up our roster. That was bad.
When he drafted Eddie Curry, don't sit here and act.
He didn't draft Eddie Curry.
Not draft. Excuse me.
Traded
for Eddie Curry, right? In the newspapers, everybody was hyped because Eddie Curry was hot. He just came to the Knicks and he ate Manhattan. Okay, so
right.
I mean,
he did.
It wasn't a bad trade.
He actually ate Manhattan.
He ate Manhattan. Yes.
Word. Like look at the guys he got. He got Jay Crossover, Jamal Crawford. You can't tell me he's bad.
Yeah, like, but the Knicks didn't make the playoffs while he was GM.
But this is what I'm trying to say. Yes, he was not a good GM, but he's not worse than Phil Jackson. When Phil Jackson was there, we had no talent on the floor. And not only did we have no talent on the floor, it wasn't even fun to watch. At least the Knicks were losing. You was like, all right, we might have a chance. Yo, bro, he had Lenny Wilkins as a coach, and he had Larry Brown as a coach. He had top-notch coaches. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is he supposed to know that was going to fail? You know what I'm saying? He got Stephon Marbury, who's averaging 20 and 10. You know what I'm saying? And then he messes up and gets Steve Francis from Orlando, and Steve Francis was already washed. That was the problem, trying to pair him up with Steve Francis. And then you got, like I said, you got Jamal Crawford. You got all these guys that want to have the basketball in. So that's what he wasn't thinking. Larry Hughes. He went and got all these. He got names. He got people who had talent. You know what I'm saying? He drafted Channing Frye. He had a long career. He got Nate Robinson. He had a nice career. Like, he had Trevor Ariza. He's still playing. You know what I'm saying? Like, he drafted people who had talent. It just didn't pan out in the scheme of things that he wanted because he didn't have the outlook of let me develop young players. He just said, let me get veterans that's going to win, and let's win now. Obviously, it didn't work out, but you can't be worse than Phil Jackson, who got nobodies. He got
Isaiah Thomas drafted Ronaldo Balkman in 2006 instead of Rajon Rondo and Kyle Lowry.
To his defense, did you think that Rajon Rondo was going to be better at that position because he couldn't shoot coming into the NBA? He couldn't shoot. You know what I'm saying? He got put into a winning situation with the Celtics because he already had greats there already. So basically, he developed into a better player. So, okay, I'll bet on that. Kyle Lowry, it wasn't even getting called good until recently after him and DeRozan separated and LeBron left the East. Now all of a sudden Kyle Lowry is good. So please, you can hold that with the Kyle Lowry talk. Yeah, Ronaldo Balkman didn't pan out, but it is what it is. Like,
but I mean, Lou, you have to admit,
Phil Jackson's heart.
No. When Phil came to New York, he was like supposed to be the Messiah. He was supposed to be the Zen master. He had all these accolades that was supposed to follow him to New York, and everybody was gassed. They was like, "Oh my goodness, we got Phil!" And he came here and he sat there up in like the third row with his legs crossed and did nothing.
Can I add to that?
Okay, please do.
I don't know if you remember, but remember the fans were boycotting the Garden in front of Dolan because they wanted us to make a move. So Dolan decided to get what the fans wanted because the fans wanted Phil Jackson. So what did he do? He got Phil Jackson. He gave the fans what they wanted. And what did he do? Stink it up. He even said immediately that he wasn't even staying in New York. He was still staying in LA. So I should tell you how much dedication he had to the job.
Bro, Boog, I was one of those idiots. I was like, I was parading around the Garden when Phil. I was like, Phil is here. He's the savior. He's the Messiah. I was so disappointed. Matter of fact, he should not show his face ever on TV ever again. He is the man that single-handedly picked the wrong. Wait, leave this reverse a little bit. It just goes to show my point. Phil Jackson just went to places where the teams were already successful. He went to the Bulls. The Bulls had a successful lineup. He went to Los Angeles. They had a successful line. He never had to build anything. He was
until he went to New York.
And then he went to New York, and what happened? He had to build, and he was unable to do it. So Phil Jackson, by far, is the worst GM, not just in Knicks history, in the NBA period. He should never ever be recognized as being a GM ever. Matter of fact,
it's definitely like we won't. The messed up part is that we'll, like, as New York Knicks fans, we remember this Phil Jackson. But if you're not a New York Knicks fan, you're going to see Phil Jackson as the 10-time world champion coach with the Lakers and the Bulls. And we're like, yeah, we know Phil Jackson. He ruined
and 2-time champion as a Knicks player.
Right, exactly, right. And now he's Phil Jackson, the guy who ruined New York basketball for 6 years. It's crazy that's what it comes down to, right?
So did Phil Jackson ruin Knicks basketball, or did the Knicks ruin Phil Jackson?
Phil Jackson ruined Knicks basketball.
Okay, I just want to see what
it was definitely Phil Jackson because
okay.
He took that money and ran with it. I don't even think he wanted the job, to be honhonest with you. He took the money and ran with it. He tried to force the triangle down everybody's throat. When he even traded for Derrick Rose the first time, he made Derrick Rose like, you know what? I'm leaving. I might retire. Like, yo,
I'm out here.
Now Derrick Rose loves New York.
Yo, Derrick Rose is like, I'm having mental issues. I'm just going to disappear for a while. This guy feels out of his mind.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't think it's even close, honestly. Isaiah was bad, but Phil was the absolute worst GM I've ever seen in sports history.
Definitely.
No, that's fair. And this broadcast brought to you by 106th Street Tire and Wheel. Get your automotive stuff done at 106th Street Tire and Wheel, located in Northern Boulevard in Corona, New York. That concludes our 2 topics for debate today. Obviously, Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer, right?
Yes.
And obviously, Phil Jackson and Isaiah Thomas are pretty bad GMs. But at the end of the day, I still am going to lead a little bit more toward Isaiah Thomas. I'm sorry. Yes. Yes. But anyways, Tuesday was right around the corner. The Yankees are playing right now. They're already up 2-0. Thank you, Uncle Vin, for that. We will have Chet is not with us today because he's still in the hospital due to surgery. He's okay. He just had to get some surgery. He'll be fine. He'll be back on Tuesday. If he's not back by Tuesday, we will go to the hospital. And
we will have the quiz at the hospital bed.
At the hospital with Chet. Right. Chet coming back off of losing a few weeks ago to Brian. He beat Dan last week. And now we'll have him again on Tuesday. So if anybody is interested in wanting to do this quiz against Chet, let me know. We'll do it.
I might have a guy that's interested in battling Chet, but I gotta quiz him a little bit. He's not gonna embarrass me and stuff. So
it's a free $50, bro. How can he can't be worse than Frank Monagoras?
I love how we mentioned every quiz now. We mentioned that. Every quiz we mentioned that. But all right, until next week. Oh, look, it looks like it's my head. Look, do that again. Do that. But until on Tuesday, guys, thank you guys for tuning into the show. We will be back on Tuesday for trivia, some hopefully Met and Yankee updates, and hopefully Boogie puts back on his Mets hat. So, but if not, I understand. Cheers, guys.
I had my
And-
giant hat on because of the Eli. Get out of here.
Yeah, Luke.
Okay.
We don't
Well,
believe that.
I don't believe that for a second.
I've been a diehard Mets fan all my life, and
Yo.
we only won one World Series
Whoa.
since I've been alive. So please, I'm always going to be a Met
Yo,
fan.
how
bro.
come you get to say the H word, but I can't say it?
What's H word?
Die.
Hard. Pause.
Well, diehard is one word.
No. We're not putting no.
Diehard is one word.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It's one word.
All right.
Trash. Trash. All right, but you guys have a good rest of your weekend, and we will talk to you guys Tuesday.
Absolutely.
Have a good rest of the time, guys.